Yeah, I think this shows into stark contrast the discussions we've had earlier on. We've had discussions about cross-border workers. The Minister has talked about equity, fairness among taxpayers. And that's the question that a lot of people would ask in relation to this policy that has been pursued by this government in terms of SARP. Like, it's been said before, and I've said it myself, and indeed Richard Boyd Barrett and others have said it, and probably it may be a reflection on us in opposition, because if people knew that this tax measure existed, there would be uproar. Like, this is a special tax rate that only people who are earning over €75,000 and incomes up to €1 million can avail of. It's not available to anybody else, no matter the contribution you make to society. As has been mentioned, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a street cleaner, whether you're somebody who works for the local authority, it's not available to you. It's not available to you unless you're one of these special people in the eyes of the Minister for Finance. So you have to be foreign, you have to come into this country, you have to have income above €75,000, and if you have income up to €1 million, what the Minister for Finance will do is he's going to cut your tax bill by €111,000. He's also going to give you €5,000 for private education for your children, and he's going to allow you to pay for your flights back home to write them off your tax bill. And as has been mentioned, 50 millionaires availed of this in 2019. 50 people who had incomes between €1 million and €3 million availed of this. That means each one of those 50 got €111,000 of a tax write-off. So the butcher, the hairdresser, the nurse, the teacher, the street cleaner, all has to pay the tax rate at the marginal rate, the 40%. But by God, if you're one of these lucky 1,574 people, then no, there is a sweetheart deal that the Minister for Finance has brought forward, and it is allowing you up to a maximum to reduce your tax liability by €111,000. It has no place in a state which believes that there should be equality of treatment for taxpayers. Absolutely no place. There is many people who feel hard-pressed by in relation to taxation, and we need taxation. We need taxation to pay for services and all the rest. But they get no relief when it comes to these type of special measures. So this SARP is absolutely outdated. It is going to cost the state, if we look at the projections of these costs from 2018 out to 2028, it's going to cost €500 million. €500 million in a 10-year period. For who? Only for individuals with incomes above €75,000, only for people with incomes up to that €1 million, only for these very special people in the eyes of this Minister, and who can also avail of other special conditions as a result of it. It is appalling. It shouldn't be there. Let me say this here. If there is multinationals in this state which we want to retain, absolutely, there's no doubt about that. And we've argued in terms of the Minister's role of trying to secure the 12.5% rate. That wasn't possible in the negotiations. There was a mountain to climb in relation to that in terms of those that came under the OECD. But we do want to retain those investments. But let me make this clear. If you feel that a key person or so-called key person in your employment needs to have a higher take-home pay, then you need to pay them more. But don't ask the tax that is paid by the butcher, the nurse, the teacher, the doctor, to actually allow that person to have a reduced tax liability. It's not acceptable, it shouldn't happen, and it has no place in our tax code.
Thank you. Minister.
For the people that I represent, the people who I want to see have better public services, I want to have a good standard of living, who I want their children to go to good schools, who I want to be able to see live in good homes, who I want to see having a better future in our country, are the butcher, are the street cleaner, are the teacher, the people that the deputies in different ways have referred to in their contribution. In order to ensure that we have the resources, the money that we need to deliver against the needs that they have that I want to see met. For a small economy of our scale, located where we are, we need to be open and we need to be competitive. Being open, being competitive are the cornerstones of how we have built an economy over decades in which we've seen rising living standards, in which we still have many, many difficulties, many challenges that we have to overcome, but has seen the living standards of many rise across that period, and I believe we'll see their living standards grow again in the future. The views that have been put forward by the deputies, particularly the view put forward by Deputy Doherty, are a direct threat to the competitiveness of our country and our ability to attract and retain jobs. The proposals that you are putting forward are a recipe to sending those jobs elsewhere. They're a recipe for losing jobs, losing investment, losing the kind of multinational investment that I believe is critical to the success of our country. Why do I say that? Look at what's available in other countries. This is what other countries are doing. The scheme that France is offering, Malta is offering, the Netherlands are offering, Italy is offering, Portugal is offering. The other countries that Deputy Doherty, Deputy Boyd Barrett, Deputy Barry would be happy to see the jobs that I want to see kept in Ireland move to. That's what is the consequence of the policies that you are proposing. And I hear Deputy Doherty use the phrase special people, with your tone, your language dripping with contempt in relation to them. The people that we are referring to here earn far more than I do, than anybody in this chamber does. But they do play a role in the creation of jobs, the creation of income, the creation of investment, that in turn allows the butcher, the teacher, the street cleaner to ensure that more resources are available to help them. It's those people that I have in mind when I make the case for the retention of this scheme.
The Minister has taken out his big bad wolf script again. Oh, how terrible things would be if Sinn Féin's policies were accepted. And he wants us to thank the Minister, that this provision to these special people, which isn't my language, it's your language, this provision is called the Special Assignee Relief Programme. You named them special, not me. But this provision to these special people, which make up 0.5% of highest income earners, is really being done for the butcher, for the baker, for the teacher. We need to give the tax cuts to the mega wealthy in this state, so that you struggling down there will have a better future for yourself. You need to understand, poor critters, that the reason we're cutting the tax bill of the millionaire by €111,000 is really for your benefit, for the teacher's benefit, for the nurse's benefit. You do not like the truth. You don't like the truth.
I'm giving you
don't
the
like the truth. You don't have the floor. This is for your benefit. It is for the benefit of the butcher. So please thank the Minister for Finance, because you just don't understand. That's the reason why we give these tax cuts to what you have called these special people. The Minister doesn't like the truth. He's heckled me.
Through the chair, thank you.
The Minister doesn't like the truth. But Minister, I'll tell you this. The butchers and the teachers that I know are not thankful that you're cutting the tax rates of those millionaires and thinking that it's for their benefit. They know exactly what is at stake here. Professor Michael Collins came before the Oireachtas Oversight Committee, the Budgetary Oversight Committee, and he said, look, those availing these special assignee relief beneficiaries would have an income at least on average of €313,000. That would put them in the top 0.5% of earnings distribution. And he says, well, there are many economic benefits to schemes such as this. One could make similar arguments for many other jobs and roles. Do earners at this level of income need a tax reduction? On the grounds of fairness, this scheme is hard to justify. Simply, there are better uses for these resources. And I agree 100%. It's unfair, it is a bad use of resources, and there are many other jobs and roles in society who could do with similar supports that the Minister doesn't view, in his words, as special.